First and most important is I had known Eric and Tanya, and as Tanya will tell you, I have good ears, unless she's been flattering me all these years. And they are amazing musicians. One day, Tanya called me and she said, we'd like to get together. She and Eric would like to get together. They wanted my advice. So I said to them, I said, well, what's it about? And they told me that they had been thinking of starting a music festival.
In the Bay Area, I play with a group called American Bach Soloists, as well as Philharmonia, and that's where I met Tanya first. And when she started the festival, she invited me, so I've been coming to the Valley of the Moon since the get-go, which I'm thrilled about.
I had heard about the festival a lot before I actually applied, because I had just started getting into playing on gut strings and historical performance.
I actually grew up knowing about Tanya and Eric, and this was before they had started Valley of the Moon. But they've been really central figures in the music making in the Bay Area for so long. So while I was doing my music education, I was always hearing their names.
You know, they explained that they wanted to do a festival of chamber music played on original instruments. Why original instruments?
So I play the cello, so that means like I have been trained to play incredibly loudly so that I can really carry over the big grand piano behind me.
When a modern pianist and modern violinist play a Brahms sonata, the violinist has to soup up his or her technique and sound to mesh with a modern grand piano. And the balances are so much better when these pieces are played on original instruments. And sometimes it's like hearing the music for the first time. And there's a delicacy often to these instruments that allow you to hear into what I call hearing into the music. One of the things that they wanted to do right away, which has become even more important, was the apprenticeship program. It's really at the heart of the festival. It's their core. Everyone loves the kids.
But one of the things that Valley of the Moon really offers is great instruction, great opportunities in an incredibly beautiful place, an incredibly beautiful part of the world.
I think another thing that Valley of the Moon does so well is they bridge this sort of gap between presenting to a bigger audience and also keeping a sense of intimacy, which is so hard to do. I think it's really hard to strike that balance.
I've watched, Eric and Tanya teach particularly, and I so appreciate their kindness and their supportive and encouraging attitude in all they do.
It was really wonderful to have this space where I could fail. I mean, I could make mistakes. I could do things that I was like, wow, that didn't work. That didn't sound very good. But also, some very successful things as well this is something I definitely didn't experience in my conservatory training.
I've been fortunate enough to be part of this festival for a few years now, and I've met a lot of really wonderful artists and wonderful concert goers through that opportunity, and a lot of them are really devoted to the community in Sonoma.
It's all about community to me, and Valley of the Moon is a very special place in that way, and they're kind of more successfully creating this historical relationship of performer and audience member that doesn't exist in a lot of other areas of classical music.
To our knowledge, we are the only festival devoted to chamber music on original instruments.
Valley of the Moon is kind of unique, at least in my experience. I don't know of any other festivals that focus specifically on historical performance of classical and romantic repertoire. So that in itself is, if not completely unique, it's really rare. So just on that level alone, it's really valuable.
And I thought, wow, this is so great because there's nothing like this in the country. Truly, there's nothing in the country for 18th and 19th century specific period playing. And having that kind of positive experience changes your career trajectory in such an amazing way. And I I can't say that I would have been able to have this experience anywhere else. And so I'm very, very grateful to the donors who make it happen and bring it all together.
Giving to the festival is really important, because what Tanya and Eric have done is not just create a festival for fun in Sonoma. There's that too. It is fun, but what they've created is an ecosystem that supports artists from when they're apprentices and maybe just right out of school to when they're emerging artists and sort of figuring out their voice and what their career path's going to look like. And as a pianist myself, I can't stress enough how difficult it is to find sustainable paths in the performing arts. It's about bringing beauty into the world and what comes with that, and the important human value that creates, which is unfortunately undervalued in society.
And there's something about the beauty of art that allows us, I think, to confront darkness. And darkness, it's always with us. So as the world seems dark, we need art all the more.